Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew Shorts. Today I have two stories for you in the rSlash entitled people subreddit, so let's jump into it. The goddess almost died because she felt entitled to my ADHD medication. My mother is the definition of entitled. She uses money and connections to avoid rules and laws, expects everyone to cater to her, and never worries about the consequences of her actions. Well, one day, her entitlement almost killed her. I had been prescribed Concerta for my ADHD, and while I was at school, my mother decided to try out my medication for herself. Because she's an idiot and doesn't think that consequences apply to her, she split my medicine in half and only took one side of it. This medicine has two sides to it for a reason. One side is basically pure amphetamines, and the other controls the release of said amphetamines to be absorbed over a span of hours, not minutes. She took the side with just the amphetamines after having her usual 3 cups of coffee first thing in the morning. Long story short, she ended up in the hospital with a dangerous heart arrhythmia and nearly died. Play stupid games. Oh, and the goddess thing? That's the nickname she wants my future children to call her. She doesn't like the word grandma. Why are you resting? Get me a fork. I work at a busy Japanese restaurant, and my coworkers had an encounter with a table full of entitled Karens consisting of an older woman and a bunch of middle-aged to young women. At this particular time, it was relatively lively. I was busy handling orders in the kitchen, while the hall staff were running around like headless chickens, trying to take everyone's order. One of my coworkers starts to take Karen's table order. When they list off 20 or so items, he says, "Alright, give me a second while I input all this." Older Karen did not like this at all. "No, do it now." Soon after receiving their order, they complained that the Lotus chips older Karen received were overcooked. Our Lotus chips typically are fried to all hell to remove the sweetness and moisture. We then keep them wrapped and in containers out in the front for easy service. They taste pretty good and are by no means overcooked. But whatever, I guess they gave them another batch of chips that were cooked exactly the same way, and they didn't complain about it again. Once some empty dishes have piled up on their table, a coworker comes by with a tray to collect it. As he pulls up to the table, he's holding the tray in one hand with a lax wrist, and is by no means ready to carry anything. Before he can properly support it, so that he can grab things, 2 younger Karens dump their beer glasses on the tray. The tray is at an angle and isn't supported, so my coworker quickly scrambled to make sure they didn't fall. Things started to slow down, so one of my managers took her break. She was relaxing on her phone when older Karen storms over. "Why are you resting? Get me a fork." I remember watching this happening. Since my coworkers are mostly Japanese where customer is always king, and despite living in a society where you can tell these people to F off, we had to leave them be and remain polite. There is a limit on their dining time, so the second it's up, they were told to leave. They get up to pay and then sit back down. They're asked to leave 3 more times to make way for more customers. They don't leave at all. Then, when it suits them, they finally leave. When a customer leaves, we bang a small drum and say thank you. Needless to say, they didn't get this treatment. This kind of entitlement is just so pointless. For the first story, if you looked up the word narcissist in a dictionary, that entitled mother's picture would be next to it. Good God! She wants to be referred to as goddess by her grandchildren? Excuse me while I vomit. How can people think this highly of themselves? It's literally repulsive to me. So, excuse me while I cringe with my low self-esteem. As for the second story, I heard this quote that you can always tell a lot by a person by the way they treat customer service and wait staff, and that is so true. So judging by that, and needless to say really, Those Karens are awful human beings. I'd say I know where Karen can put the fork, but her head is already so far up there, I don't think the fork would fit. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do. And I will see you in the next Reddit stories. Bye!